Yeah, you know, old J.D. Vance. I really wonder. Let's move this up so it doesn't reflect too much. I just wonder if, or what Ohioans were thinking when they elected J.D. Vance to the U.S. Senate over Tim Ryan. And Tim Ryan has his own little disadvantages, but he's not a walking disaster like this guy is. And I don't know what the hell Ohio was thinking. But then I had this college professor back in the late 80s. And he was great. He was a history professor. He could have been a stand-up comedian. But he was born and raised in Ohio. And he remembered going to the state capitol. Now remember, I'm remembering this 35 years after he gave this spiel. And he went to the state capitol there, and I guess they had portraits or something of presidents who were from Ohio, because Ohio elected quite a few, or Ohio elected, I should say the voters elected several people president that were from Ohio. And he went into each one of these guys, and of course every one of them was a damn flop. You had Garfield, of course, he was assassinated. And then there was Ulysses Grant, and although he was not corrupt himself, he had scandals surrounding his administration. Although he's fared a little bit better among historians as of late. And then there was Taft, and he was a president who really preferred to bet on the court, which he ended up being on the U.S. Supreme Court. And he was known for his very huge size. And I think he was even stuck in a bathtub or something one time. I don't know. And then you had, and I think, was McKinley from Ohio too? McKinley. Ah, shit. What state? President. Oh. Yeah, he was from Ohio too. So there were two presidents that were assassinated from Ohio. And let's make sure about Garfield. I'm pretty sure Garfield. Yep, he was Ohio. So, and then the ultimate Ohio president was Warren Harding. And of course, it was a disaster. And he died in office. So this professor went on and talked about all the presidents from Ohio. And it was the funniest lecture ever, because none of them wound up worth a shit. And now, keeping up with that tradition is J.D. Vance. But of course, he's actually a candidate for the vice presidency rather than the presidency. But he's keeping the low quality alive. Although, to be fair with Garfield and McKinley, they, you know, that was out of their control. But there's a big dust up. You know, old Vance was talking about the cat ladies. You know, women who just refuse to have kids and refuse marriage. And oh, how lonely it's going to be. Oh, you know, the gaslighting just doesn't work anymore. I mean, I heard that shit when I was young. And, you know, and I was really kind of ahead of my time. I have to say, I was way ahead of my time. In that I rejected all that stuff. And don't regret it. The only bad part is financial. But why trade sex to get it? You know, a decent standard of living or a good standard of living. That's not really a fair trade. And, but he went on and on about that. And then there was this thing that surfaced a couple of days ago, from the past, of course, that he did an interview with a host, and his name is Eric Weinstein, or Weinstein, and he has a podcast, and they were yakking about stuff, and apparently Weinstein, he mangled the theory that the reason women have menopause goes way, way back, way back in ancient and prehistoric times and whatever, that it enabled women to be free to caregive grandkids and such, if they lived that long, to do it. And that's the theory, that the reason that menopause exists in human females. But that isn't the way that it came out. It came out that the purpose is to help raise kids. That's not the same thing. The purpose of menopause has nothing to do with helping raise kids. That it's not the same thing as the theory that says menopause came about to enable older women to help caregive young kids. Not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. And I don't know if that's even true, but I've heard that bandied about. But anyway, and then they went into a discussion about Vance's wife and her culture, her cultural standards and all this kind of crap. But so Vance has gotten in trouble again. So it says here in this tweet, in an interview from 2020, J.D. Vance agrees with a podcast host who says having grandmothers help raise children is the whole purpose of the postmenopausal female. And he also agrees with the host, God, I hate this shit, that grandparents helping raise children is a weird, unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman. So, anyway, he got a lot of flack over that. But these MRAs can't even keep their facts straight. So what was a theory about why menopause came into existence, now it's being told that your purpose as postmenopausal is to help raise grandkids, and otherwise you're completely useless. And he thinks women are useless if they're not, if they're past childbearing age. He meaning Vance. So anyway, that he's fighting that off. So he's becoming more and more a gift to the Democrats as time goes on. So anyway, we'll figure out what he's going to say next. And I don't know if they're going to actually debate, if he and Walz are going to debate in the vice presidential debate. But that is going to be something, although Biden, from the time that he was debating Paul Ryan, that VP debate, that was something to watch, because it was like Biden was just toying with Ryan, and it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious how he destroyed Ryan. So I don't know if Walz has that capability. Walz. So anyway, that is it. That's all I'm going to talk about. And I got to get going on my hike. So that's it.